Alright guys, thanks for joining. So as you guys know, I'm still having issues. It's been 2 weeks since both my Gladiator NXTs had started showing issues with their USB interface. I've managed to get one to be working with one of the cables. So one cable works for both, the other cable doesn't work on both, so the issue is still with the PCB on both of the things, and I'm not really getting any good feedback from VKB. But that's the only negative I'm going to bring up in this video today. What I do have now in delivery, it got delivered today after a week of sitting in customs, is the Virpil ACE pedals. So what I've decided to do is actually bind my pedals, one of my joysticks, which is, well, the one USB cable that's working with the joystick, and use the mouse on my right hand. So I'm actually effectively going for a mixture of keyboard, mouse, left joystick, and Virpil pedals. The other thing I've done is I've come in here in my keybinds, and I have, you go into advanced controls, and I have actually gone into the joystick and HOTAS and unbound everything. For example, right, if I want to bind eject with something, I double mouse click on this, left click mouse, and I press the button I want to press to bind that. And if I unbind it, I click on it once with a left click and a right click on it, right? So it unbinds that particular one as well. So I've been through and I've unbound everything, simply because I want to just go through it all and bind it, and you guys don't need to see the time it takes to unbind it all, right? So, what do we have now? In this vehicle mode, and I'm going to bind the basic binds here, guys. I'm not going to go into it in a lot of detail, in terms of, because this is not my main preferred way of playing this. I want to play this with two dual sticks and pedals, but because the dual sticks aren't working right now, this is just a makeshift view, so I'm going to use the keyboard a little bit more than I normally would want to. The other thing I did was, if I go into my control profiles, I saved, so that's today's date, 11th of March 2022. It's just the way I like to save my dates. So I saved what I had bound before, and I just pressed reset to default, and I reset all of these to default. And then, as I mentioned, I've already been through and I have unbound, and it tells you how to bind and unbind down here as well. So I've unbound all of that, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go through and start binding some of these bad boys. So missile operator mode. So this one I want on my left joystick, and I want it to be that button. So this is Gladiator NXT from VKB left one, and it's a standard one. It's not a premium one, so it has a fewer buttons, but you'll see button 15 on there as well, right? In here, self-destruct, all of this stuff, open, close doors, lock doors. No, I'll keep all of that on the keyboard itself, which is again defaulted. Vehicle view. Again, this I'm going to keep my yaw and my pitch on my mouse, so I'm not really too bothered about this as well. So that's fine. Flight movement. So this is important, right? So so that's view movement, yeah. So my pitch and my yaw will remain on my mouse, so I don't need to do that up here. So strafe up and down. So this I'm going to bind to the y-axis of what? Okay, sorry, I need to take, yeah, on the y-axis of my. Looks like I might need some firmer springs on there. What you were seeing was any movement I make on my things there on my, so this is the slider 1 and 2, so this is, on the pedals. I think I need firmer springs there going forward. I seem to be pressing this a little bit just out of habit. So let me see if I push them a little bit further away from me there. Yeah, think that's as far as I can push them, but okay, that's fine. Okay, so then we have strafe left and right, and that I am going to bind onto the x-axis of my left joystick, the Gladiator NXT, throttle front and back, and this I want to bind, no, not on the slider, no, not on the slider. This I want to, oh, they've put in another one, forward back invert. Okay, this I want to be on the Z axis of my pedals, so that's fine. And then, okay, maybe I will need to invert it. Let's have a look. Let's wait for it, right? Decouple I tend to put on here anyway, onto my left joystick. Boost is going to be the main button on my left joystick, so that's effectively controlling a lot of my movement there as well. Speed limiter up and down I don't need. Speed limiter off, reset, I don't need any of that. Acceleration, I don't need any of that. Space brake, yes, this I want, and I'll bind that onto the VKB as well. So that's that done. ESP, cruise control, landing system, I'll use the keyboard for all of this. I'll have to remember all of those as I go through. Same with quantum travel. I'm gonna have to think of that one. No, I mean I'm gonna keep that one on the keyboard itself. Docking, not to worry. Targeting, right? So here I want to not pin. I want to do lock forward. Where is lock forward? No, none of this. I don't think I need. Oh, unlock lock targets. I do like to have this one bound. So I'll bind that to one of my hats. And then if I go into targeting, so cycle what is forward. Yeah, what is in front of me. And what I want to do is, where is the closest one? Hostiles. Sorry, not all of them. I only like to bind the hostiles, really. No, sorry. Forward one is anyone. Forward is for everyone. I don't mind everyone being, because if I'm looking at someone and I want to lock onto them, that's fine. Hostiles, I like to. No, sorry, this is wrong. Cycle in view forward. That's the one I want to do. So whatever is in front of me, I cycle that one, and then cycle hostiles reset to the closest. So this gives me what is the closest next to me, and this is the cycle forward. So it's pretty simple. When I want to unlock a target, I push my hat switch, the top left hat switch, sorry, top right hat switch on the NXT to the left. When I want to cycle what is in my view in front of me, I just push it forward, and then if I just want to cycle through hostiles, I will push my hat switch to the right, and when I want to reset to the closest one, I will just pull it back, and that should do me for the bare minimum that I need. I am happy with that. Okay, so that's fine. Flight radar, weapons, vehicle weapons. Fire group 1 and fire group 2 I'm going to keep on the mouse, so that's fine. Vehicles, missiles. So this is an important one. So I've set up missiles right at the top already, to be. So missiles is that button there. So that hat switch, which is a top left hat switch, right? I'm going to just put in a few missile related items in here, right? So increase number of armed missiles. I like this one, so I'm just going to push that hat, which the top left hat up, and the decrease is push that down. Then we have the next missile type, which will be there, and the previous missile type, which is there. And that will set my top left hat switch all to do with missile types. So that's all good. Shields and countermeasures, right? So we have this now. So let's just open this. So we do want to do a decoy, and decoy is what I tend to bind to the button where my thumb is, simply because that's my resting position there, so I will bind that there. I'm not going to bind noise, normally I would, but I think I'll just run out of buttons soon enough, so I'm going to leave noise as is. Hold on, did I actually bind roll? Where is, no, roll. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to bind roll. This will be the Z axis on my left. Yeah, sorry. Only human after all, right? So if we come back down, we've done missiles, we've done countermeasures, power management. So this is going to be the hats, which is the right below. So the bottom one, and the hat switch, which is there. Here I am going to bind the engines, so weapons max set to max, right? So I like this to be bound onto the stick itself. The engine set to max, this is something I'll bind onto there as well. Shield set to max, I'll bind that there. Basically I'll just go through between the max settings, I'm not going to set anything in between per se. And then reset assignments there as well. And that leaves me one button in the middle of all of this, which I can actually now bind to noise. So I do have one button left. So that is okay. The last thing I want to do is actually bind my head tracking, right? And I do like to reset a head tracking device, head tracking hold, enable, push. Yeah, so I do like to bind one which recenters the head tracking device. Oh, no, wrong button. So I'll bind that onto here. So now we've got that bound. Let's just quickly go through this. So we did the missiles. We did missiles up, down, next missile, previous missile, and missiles. We did lock forward, lock closest, hostile next, and unlock all targets. We did the power management to power reset, max weapons, max shields, and max engines. We did the brake, we did the decoy, we did the up, down, roll, and we did the head tracking return to center. And we did also do the boost and the decouple and decoy and brake. So we've done all of that on here. So now if I just quickly move to keyboard and mouse, because there is a little bit of stuff here that we need to be done. So if we do flight movement, so the pitch is the mouse moving, nope, y-axis, yes please. Which is fine, and we need the yaw to be the x-axis, which is fine as well. So that's all fine. The other thing I like to change is just look at the fire control. Just make sure it is what we are expecting it to be. Vehicle, weapons, weapon. So button 1 is for group 1, button 2 is for group 2. I'm happy with that as well. And missiles, missile launch is button 1. So I'm happy with that as well. So that's all covered. And that's about it really for now. One last thing that I like to do is if I go into here, interaction mode, F button. So normally on your keyboard you press F to hit the interaction mode button, which is fine. I like to just change that onto my mouse. I have a button on my mouse, button mouse 4. It's not really done for anything else, so I just move that into there as well. So that's kind of good for that front as well. Although most of the time when I am on my on foot, I'll be using the keyboard and mouse on this one. So let's quickly save these control settings. So today's date, year 22, month 03, date 11th, and this is the left NXT and pedal, pedal, and we can do mouse, keyboard, right? So all of these have got some sort of changes on them, so we can save this and we're done. And I can now go into the game and test this out. Thank you for watching, guys.